The Brussels Treaty, a milestone in European unity. The year was 1972, and Europe was like a trendy nightclub. Inside, the European Economic Community, EEC, was the VIP section, a place where nations danced to the tune of economic unity. But outside the velvet rope stood four hopeful newcomers: the United Kingdom, Ireland, Denmark, and Norway. They weren't looking for a wild night out, though. They wanted in on a serious relationship, economic integration. The United Kingdom had been trying to charm its way into the EEC for years, only to be blocked by a certain French president, Charles de Gaulle. Imagine de Gaulle as the grumpy bouncer who thought the Brits were too unruly to join the club. "Non," he'd exclaim, waving them away. But with de Gaulle out of the picture, the UK finally got its chance to prove it could play nice with its neighbors. Ireland, on the other hand, was like the quiet one in the corner, waiting for the right moment to step into the spotlight. Tied historically and economically to Britain, Ireland's EEC application was a package deal. If the UK got in, Ireland was coming along for the ride. Besides, who wouldn't want access to a bigger market for its butter and Guinness? Denmark brought a sense of Nordic practicality to the mix. Why not join, the Danes thought. After all, it meant better trade opportunities and a chance to show off their bacon and design sensibilities to a broader audience. Norway, however, was a bit of a wild card. While the government was eager to join, the Norwegian people were hesitant. They worried about losing control over their fishing waters and national identity. It was the kind of dilemma that could make even the calmest Viking scratch their horned helmet in frustration. Finally, on a chilly day in Brussels, these four nations signed on the dotted line, agreeing to join the EEC starting January 1st, 1973. The signing of the Brussels Treaty was like a wedding ceremony, where vows of cooperation were exchanged, but the honeymoon phase was anything but smooth. Norway's membership hit a snag when its people said a resounding nay in a national referendum. So, while the UK, Ireland, and Denmark began their EEC journey on New Year's Day 1973, Norway politely declined, staying home to keep an eye on its fjords and fishing boats. Meanwhile, the UK's inclusion would later prove to be a roller coaster of emotions, culminating in Brexit decades later. It seems even economic unions have their ups and downs. The Brussels Treaty was a significant milestone in European integration, expanding the EEC and setting the stage for what would eventually become the European Union. It was a time of optimism, cooperation, and, let's be honest, a lot of bureaucratic paperwork. But more than anything, it was a reminder that even the most diverse group of nations could find common ground, as long as there's a good trade deal involved. Sometimes expanding your circle is worth the growing pains, and if there's one thing the Brussels Treaty taught us, it's that unity, no matter how complicated, always starts with a signature.